Hi guys. Happy little day today. Now, Jojo Siwa's rebrand and revival of her music career was definitely not something I would have put in this year's bingo card. But here we are. And I especially would have never thought that it would backfire this much to the point where Jojo's song Karma, the one that she's been promoting for the past, month and a half, is being out-charted by the person who supposedly wrote the original version of the song, Britt Smith. And before we get into the video, I really want to clarify that I mean no hate towards Jojo. I'm not making this video to be mean or laugh at her and make fun of her. If anything, this video's ended up being more in defense of Jojo than I thought it would be after looking into everything. Two things really quickly. Number one, I have a song coming out May 10th. It's called Why Did I Laugh Anyway? It's really, really good. I'm really proud of it. I've never been more excited for a song to drop, and I'm just so thrilled to be sharing it with you guys. The pre-save link is in the description and the pinned comment, and it would mean a lot to me if you pre-saved the song. That's under the artist project Dev Lemons, my solo stuff. Totally different vibe than my band, Queef Jerky, that's going on tour this June. It's gonna smell wild in there. You're not gonna want to miss that, believe me. We have a debut album, not debut album, it's like our 4th album coming out May 3rd. We're gonna be playing that. We're gonna be playing a bunch of our classics. Tickets are on sale in the description, pinned comment. It would mean a lot to me if you came and supported the shows. It's gonna be crazy, guys. I'm so excited. Okay, so in case you don't know who Jojo Siwa was before this epic rebrand, let me take you on a walk down memory lane. Basically, she was part of the Dance Moms universe. She kind of got into that around 9 years old, and she stood out pretty immediately because of her huge bubbly personality, her big bows she wore in her hair. She clearly had a very distinct thing about her. After a few years of being on reality TV, Jojo then launched her YouTube channel, which got tens of millions of subscribers, was super successful. And the success of that led to her signing a deal with Nickelodeon to do events and merch together. So essentially she was a Nickelodeon kid, but first she was a Dance Moms kid and a YouTuber, but she was a child star, just a child star. And her brand up until this point has been centered around these huge bows in her hair, rainbow extensions, super tight ponytail, really tight ponytail, and a really huge bubbly personality. And after letting go of her Nickelodeon persona, Jojo has slowly kind of let us in on her life over the years. She came out as part of the LGBTQIA+ community back in 2021. She actually became the first contestant on Dancing with the Stars to dance with someone of the same sex, which is pretty cool. So let's fast forward to this year. Jojo starts teasing her new song Karma, and the main promotion strategy behind this song is to really rebrand her as a bad girl. The birth of Jojo being a bad, edgy girl. Ooh, posting photos on her Instagram with her middle finger up. Showing up to the iHeartRadio Music Awards looking goth. Paying the paparazzi to show up at the adult toy store and take pictures of Jojo leaving the adult toy store with a big plushie of a phallus. The rebrand was pretty polarizing from the start. A lot of people liked it, loved to see it even. But there were also a lot of people who looked at it and thought it was cringe and disingenuous. But regardless of what people thought of it, it made a huge splash and got a lot of people talking about Jojo Siwa. When it comes to the promo of the song itself specifically, Jojo also kept doing this dance to the song with this insane move in it. This wild move. She did this wild dance. And everyone again thought, wow, that's just wild. I cannot believe she did that. And the dance spread like wildfire. And now all the cards are falling into place. Karma drops April 5th. Media coverage is huge. The red carpet appearances are making a huge splash. The people are loving the song. It's getting a lot of streams. Jojo has set this grand scene for her full-on PR rebrand. And so far, overall, it's going great. Until people started watching her interviews.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes.
Oh? I feel like what kind of started the Backfire phase of Jojo's rebrand was these interviews where she's just saying some weird stuff. And it's not just one bad interview, it's several. But a lot of her interviews that are really rubbing the people the wrong way, that all the controversy is stemming from, kind of boiled down to her having this demeanor that she's doing stuff that's way more revolutionary than it actually is. Like, there's this one interview where she says that like no one else in her generation has made this dramatic of a change in their brand.
No one has made this dramatic of a change yet. No one has made, in my generation, this extreme of a switch. And I am the first in the generation. It is very scary.
Also, I feel like JoJo's rebrand isn't really that drastic to begin with. I mean, on the surface level, she went from wearing like bright colors to like goth, putting her middle finger up to the camera, being bad, saying curse words in her songs, right? But even her goth aesthetic is like covered in glitter. She's got press-on earrings on. It's like, how badass can you be with the press-on earrings? I'm sorry, but like, how badass can you be with the silver turtle shell backpack? Like, you can only be so hardcore with the turtle shell backpack. I'm sorry. And also the song itself isn't really that crazy. It's not that groundbreaking and unexpected to hear from her. Like, it's a pop song. I love the song. Like, I'm not shitting on the song when I say that because I love it. But I feel like she's acting like the rebrand is more drastic and surprising than it actually is. And I think that's what people are kind of making fun of her for. And the biggest thing that I see people talk about that really rubbed them the wrong way with the Jojo Siwa press run was the infamous Gaypop interview.
I want to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called Gaypop. Songs like Applause by Lady Gaga. It's the On My Own Miley Cyrus. Can't Be Tamed Miley Cyrus. Karma. It's that.
And I watched the clip beyond that one snippet that people are stitching on TikTok and talking about. And she says that she wants to create a new genre called Gaypop. But then after that, like, immediately starts listing existing artists. So when I watched the full clip, part of me was like, well, did she mean to say that? Like, maybe she did just misspeak, right? But regardless, it's just disrespectful to act like no one created Gaypop before you, Jojo Siwa. Like, come on. Then she does a follow-up statement about the Gaypop thing, and I'll play some clips from that.
I could be like, I support world peace. And the world would be like, you.
But a lot of people are saying that there was a lot of icons that have come before you.
So many. Gosh, I saw even Betty Who made a post being like, hey, and I'm literally friends with Betty. Like, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Michael Jackson. There's so many people who have made Gaypop. I think I just want to make it more clear that Gaypop is a genre. If I said to somebody, name a Gaypop artist, they'd go, what's Gaypop? But if I said to somebody, name a rock artist, you would say, Kiss, AC/DC. You know what I mean?
I think they'd say Lady Gaga. I think they'd say Chappell Roan. They'd say Freddie Mercury, Elton John.
Okay, that's valid because I would too.
Do you want to go back on your statement and say that you weren't the inventor of Gaypop?
I definitely am not the inventor of Gaypop, for sure not. But I do want to be a piece in making it bigger than it already is.
So this follow-up kind of confused me a little bit, at least, because she does acknowledge that other gay pop artists have existed well before her and have made the genre so iconic and groundbreaking as it is now. Like, she's not creating gay pop. But then, not too long after, she says that no one would know what to say if you asked them to name a gay pop artist. But regardless, I guess she did clarify that what she meant was, like, she's obviously not the inventor of gay pop, but she just wants to bring more attention to it. And I think this whole demeanor she has in these interviews where she's acting like she's doing something way more revolutionary than she is, like with those specifically, is a bit cringe, and especially to other like iconic gay pop artists, it's pretty disrespectful. And I think because people have a bad taste in their mouth after watching these Jojo Siwa interviews, or just in general with her, like this think that she's cringe, like a lot of people are making her out to be the villain in other ways where she's just not. Like when it comes to actually writing the song Karma and like all the drama that's going in between like who actually wrote the song and like she's stealing music from people. A lot of people are accusing JoJo of lying about writing the song Karma. From what I've seen, I've looked for a while for any clip of JoJo Siwa saying that she wrote the song Karma, but it just doesn't exist. In the interviews I've seen from her, especially like the Call Her Daddy interview, she makes it very clear that she was pitched this song.
And then I got pitched this song, Karma. And the first word is, I was a bad girl. And I was like,
off. Like, that clip to me doesn't feel like she by any means is trying to mislead us into thinking that she wrote this song when she didn't. And if you can find a clip where she specifically says that she wrote the song Karma, not that she's been writing music for the past 2 years in general, not that like she writes songs in general, but that she specifically wrote the song Karma, like, please link it. And I stand corrected, I guess, right? Like, the most popular quote I see people talking about in the comment sections that are saying that JoJo lied about writing the song Karma is that she said she wrote Karma 2 years ago, or that she's been like spending the past 2 years writing Karma. But the actual quote that I found that I think people are actually talking about is in the Call Her Daddy interview, where she just says that she started writing music again 2 years ago. Like, she never says that she wrote Karma. A lot of people are also upset at JoJo for saying she has no idea who Britt Smith is when the interviewer asked her what she thought about people saying that she stole the song from Britt Smith, because what I've been seeing circulating around online is that everyone's saying that Britt Smith wrote this song originally, but that's also not true. Like, Britt Smith did not write this song either. This is just as much Britt Smith's song as it is JoJo's song. Karma was actually written by Rock Mafia and pitched to Miley Cyrus first. Miley Cyrus didn't want the song, she scrapped it, so then that song, after being handed to Miley Cyrus, was then handed to Britt Smith. And then Britt Smith brought Timbaland in, and then they did their own version of the song. But then Britt Smith also decided not to release the song. If you look in Britt Smith's credits of her version of the song, she's also not listed as a writer. She's just a performer of the song. But I think it's kind of lame that people are just running with this narrative that like Jojo Siwa stole this song from Britt Smith and like ripped it out of her hands and released it without like being allowed to, when in reality, Britt Smith chose like 12 years ago to not release the song that she also didn't write. So when it comes to like actually how they got their hands on the song, Britt Smith and Jojo Siwa did the same thing. Their labels pitched them the song and they did their own versions of it, except Britt Smith didn't release hers and Jojo Siwa officially did release hers. Like, Jojo is within her right to say that she didn't steal the song, because she didn't steal the song. There definitely is such thing as stealing in the music industry. It sucks. But this isn't an example of that. And in regards to this, like, there are so many interview clips of Jojo Siwa talking about her different versions of Karma that are being taken out of context to make it seem like she's talking about Britt Smith's version of the song.
If you listen to the first version of Karma, whole different song.
When in reality, Jojo has recorded like 6 different versions of this song. And when she's saying like the first version of the song is completely different than the one you're hearing now, she's not talking about Britt Smith's version of the song. She's talking about the first version of the song that she recorded versus the one that's on streaming. And people are taking that out of context to make it seem like she's like talking about how hers is like so different than what Britt Smith did, which again is not what she said. So it sucks because she is saying stuff that's cringe, but there's a lot of things that are being taken out of context from her interviews to make it seem like she's saying more stuff that's cringe and weird. But I think also people are assuming the worst of JoJo, not just because of all the cringe interview stuff, whatever, but also because of this unreleased song that she has called Choose Your Fighter that sounds identical to this one artist named Emmeline's song. But again, from what I can see, Emmeline didn't release this song, so then the song was pitched to JoJo, and JoJo assumed that she was allowed to sing this song because the label pitched it to her, so then she did. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with this. I'm just saying that the fact that JoJo was pitched this song isn't JoJo's fault. I mean, Emmeline says it herself that although she never signed off on JoJo singing the song and releasing her version of it, it's not JoJo's fault. Like, this is the label messing up. This is like a big misstep on the label's part for just assuming this song could be pitched around because Emmeline didn't release her version of it. So again, like, even with this one, the songs are identical, but JoJo didn't steal this song. The song was pitched to her and she took it, just like with Karma. And it's a shame that this happened to Emmeline. Like, that is really unfair. But she, again, like, she acknowledges that this is not JoJo's fault that this happened. This is just a problem with the music industry. Listen, I have no reason to defend Jojo Siwa. I'm not a JoJo stan. If anything, I should be biased against her because she's like the only person that has demonetized one of my videos where I make a song without being able to hear it, which I think is so wild. But after looking into this whole situation and like what everyone is saying about Jojo Siwa and like what she's done, there's a lot of stuff that's taken out of context and lies to just make her look like way worse. Songwriters are historically treated like absolute garbage by the music industry, so undercompensated, underpaid, and like just not credited sometimes. Like so much labor goes into these songs for them to just see nothing of them. I saw a really interesting interview from Ray recently where she talks about her experience as a songwriter, where she's written on songs where she doesn't know the song's coming out until a week before the song comes out, and then the label will like pressure her into signing a deal and being like, if you don't sign this now, then the song's not coming out and it's your fault and you get nothing. And I think that JoJo's had definitely her fair share of cringe moments recently. I think given how she does talk about how historic her rebrand is, like someone needed to humble her. But like no one's saying that Britt Smith stole this song from Miley Cyrus, even though it's the same deal. Miley didn't want the song. Britt Smith did a version of the song, chose not to release it. JoJo did a version of the song because no one else chose to release their version after over 10 years. So then she did her own version and dropped it. And I guarantee you that Britt Smith's version of the song would have never come out if JoJo didn't put out her version of the song. And both people are really talented. Like I love Britt Smith's version. I love Jojo Siwa's version. But it just seems cruel and unfair that JoJo is being painted as this like evil song stealer that's walking around Hollywood just taking songs from smaller artists, just going on TikTok like, I like that song, it's mine now. When in reality, JoJo's just being pitched these songs that, to JoJo's knowledge, no one is planning to release. So it's fair game for her. That itself is pretty standard in pop music. Like so many pop songs are not actually written by the people who are singing them. Off the top of my head, like Joji didn't write Glimpse of Us. Beyonce didn't write Pretty Hurts. Miley Cyrus didn't write Party in the USA, but that's like a standard thing. And although I do think JoJo's rebrand did backfire, I don't think this is like a career-ending thing for her by any means, and I definitely don't hope that for her either. And I don't know, I just really wanted to talk about this because I don't think people on TikTok are necessarily at fault for thinking that JoJo stole the song from Britt Smith either, because that sort of narrative has spread like wildfire, and you really do have to go out of your way to like see that she didn't. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the whole Jojo Siwa situation. Let me know what you guys think of all this. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I used to do a lot more commentary than I do now. I kind of just dip my toes back into it whenever there's something I like really want to talk about. But for the most part, I'm just doing crazy funny stuff on this channel. It's really fun though. You're not going to miss it. So subscribe. And two things again. First thing, I have a song coming out under my solo project called Dev Lemons. It's called Why Did I Laugh Anyway? It's coming out May 10th, and I'm really proud of it. So it would mean the world to me if you could pre-save that song, check it out when it comes out, whatever. Link in my description in the pinned comment. And also my band Queef Jerky, totally different vibe, is going on tour this June, and you are not gonna want to miss it. These new songs on our new album coming out May 3rd are going to be insane live. Like, it is going to be so cool. So if you want to come support the show, tickets to that are also in the description and pinned comment, and I'm really excited to see you guys there. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that they're going to come to this show or that show, so like, I'm so thrilled. Like, I'm so excited to do this show for you guys. Like, you're gonna have so much fun, and it will be a night to remember. Yeah. Okay. Bye.